What's up, guys? Welcome back to this live. I am doing this again. This is the second one, and I actually really like this whole process of doing it like this. So, first of all, for the people that are tuning in, if you can let me know if you can actually hear me, that would be fantastic. If you just type in the chat, there should be a chat somewhere down here or over here, or I don't know if you're on mobile or whatever, but let me know if you can hear me okay. Um, and if you can't hear me, let me know and I'll need to make an adjustment. But assuming you can hear me, I am excited to do a little live today, maybe for the next. Okay, cool. We got Zane, we got Young. What's up, guys? You guys can hear me okay? Type in the chat if you can hear me. Cool. Okay, so I'm here streaming from beautiful Cape Cod, and got some questions that I can run through. But if you guys have questions at any time, just ask questions in the chat, and we'll just go from there. The first question from Nate. I'm gonna pull. I have a bunch on my phone that were from an Instagram live, but I'm sure you guys will fill the chat with questions as well. So when is the mini tribe accelerator dropping? So I'm going to do it. It's actually going to be through Huobi. So if you guys weren't aware, I'm an advisor for Huobi, HOO.be. It's like a link in bio platform for creators, entrepreneurs, artists. Jeff Bezos uses Huobi. If you go to Jeff Bezos' Instagram, he uses Huobi, which is hilarious. Like, I find it so funny that Jeff Bezos doesn't have Amazon.com as a link in his bio. He has a Huobi link. So anyway, we're launching the ability to release paid content. And so I'm going to release the mini course through Huobi. And I'm not going to say exactly how much it is, but I will tell you it'll be under $50. So it's going to be very affordable. I've never really done anything like this, and I think people are going to absolutely love it. So I'm excited, but I'm going to release it in the next few days. So let's do some Q&A. If you guys have questions, type them in the chat. What's up, Christian? What's up, Benedek? What's up? Who's here? Melatonin. What's up, guys? Interesting names. Cool. What's up, Logan? Yes, it is a steal. Cool. All right. What's up? Let's do a question from Young. The question is, can you create cool gatherings and have a great social life if you're not making a lot of money like you are? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've created gatherings where I spent no money. I mean, in fact, you could just, a really good question to ask yourself in life in general is when you think you need money to do something, flip it around and say, how can I get paid to do this? So for example, you guys just saw that I went to Europe for 2 months, right? What if you said, okay, well, the first thought that people have is this looks expensive. I don't have money. I got to work my job. Okay. Well, what if you just flip that around in your head and you go, what if I could get paid to go to Europe for 2 months? And then that's just going to fuck your mind up for a little bit. But then over time, you realize, oh, maybe there is a way to do that. I'm going to grab my little coffee cup over here. There's this guy named Mark Rebier who does live streams. He's like a DJ. And you guys just look up Mark Rebier, Rebillet, Berlin. And it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen. It just popped into my head because of the way I said something. But okay. So most people, when they think about, creating an event or creating a trip and inviting people, they think that it's going to cost them a lot of money. But what if you profited from this? Right? Like, what if you, for example, created an event and like took some time to like make a flyer and like talk to someone who's potentially interested in hosting the event, and then you gather the people and you charge $100 per ticket. In fact, last night, like I was at an event with my mom and dad, and it was $100 per ticket. Why couldn't you do the same thing? Obviously, it's going to take some time, but if you want to create, a cool circle of people, you have to take time to do things. You can't just like walk out into the world and just hope people are going to want to be friends with you. You have to create value, and creating value can take time. So what if you created something where people would be willing to pay a lot of money to come? What if you created some kind of dinner that was like actually someone in Tribe Accelerators creating like kind of like a collective, a community of sorts. And his plan over time is, and he doesn't really make any money right now. He's a college student. But his plan over time is to charge for this community to give access to high level mentors and entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So the question I would challenge all of you guys to ask is, if there's something that you really want in life right now and that you think the reason that you can't have it is because of money, then just flip it around and ask yourself, what if I could get paid? Or what would I need to do to get paid to have access to this thing? Let's say you want to drive a fancy car or something. And that's like you really want to drive like a Ferrari. Rather than saying, oh, I don't have $400,000 for a car, why don't you ask yourself, how could I get paid to drive this car? And then see where your brain takes you, okay? And engage your subconscious as well. Like, understand the power of, like, realizing a huge realization that I've had is reality is not like everything that we see and can touch and experience and can taste is only 0.0000001% of what the world actually is. And that realization, having that realization alone, if you can just get that through your head on this live right now, is going to fundamentally change everything about your life. Because if you realize that everything you're currently interacting with, like your current life experiences, how much money you have, the job you have, the success you have, the relationships you have, that's all material and physical, and that's only 0.001% of the world. Well, then what's the rest? Well, the rest is 99.99999% energy and space. So if you change your energy, then you can change what your physical is, because the energy comes first and the physical comes second. If you guys read, like, someone who talks about this stuff a lot is called Joe Dispenza. He's done a ton of research in this. But the more you realize it, like, and the more you act on it, the more fantastic your life gets. Something that really clicked with me recently that I heard was that the result of an experience that you have is an emotion. Every experience that you have results in an emotion. Whether you win the lottery and you experience an emotion of joy, or you get cheated on, you experience an emotion of pain and suffering. If you are broke, or if you get laid off from your job, you experience an emotion of pain, a dark emotion. If you have a friend betray you, that's an emotion of pain, right? If your relationship isn't the way you want it to be, you experience an emotion of just discomfort and frustration, right? So your physical life experiences result in an emotion, okay? But what if, again, it's kind of like what I was saying before with the question about flipping your reality around and asking yourself, instead of how much money do I need to travel to Europe? Well, what if I could get paid to travel to Europe? So it's the same thing it's the same style of thinking here, where instead of saying, oh no, my life sucks, I'm miserable, I'm not, influential, my job, I hate my job, my relationship stinks. What if you flip it around and say, how would I feel if my life was exactly the way I wanted? If I had the exact relationship that I wanted, how would I feel right now? If I had the exact amount of money that I wanted coming in every day, how would I feel? How would I wake up and feel? And how would I open my eyes and feel right now? If I wanted to be famous on YouTube, how would I feel in this moment? I would feel abundant. I would feel free. I would feel happy. I'd feel a state of enthusiasm, right? And enthusiasm is when joy meets a creative process. And so right now I'm experiencing enthusiasm, okay? And so when you put the emotion first, then what happens is you end up feeling like acting through that emotion. And then two things happen. One, the first thing that happens is your reality starts to change, because obviously you're taking action, right? Like, I woke up this morning, I did a meditation, I sat out and looked at the nature in the backyard, which I just love doing. And I did some visualization of how, the way I want my life to look and how I want to feel. And because I feel so good, I decided, I feel so good, like, I'm just going to do a live right now, right? So creating this content, obviously, this piece of content that I'm recording right now can ultimately turn into probably 20 different pieces of content, whether it's TikToks or Instagram Reels, or maybe I take one of these questions and turn it into another YouTube video that I post on this channel. And so the more that I do that over time, right, obviously that's content and that's value that I'm putting out into the world, right? But at the same time, reality responds to you with the different energy that you have. So just by waking up and feeling abundant, feeling free, feeling like you can do whatever you want in life, reality meets you at that frequency halfway and starts to bring you people, opportunities, and just, I guess, like synchronicities is the best way to put it. Because on one hand, yes, you have to put action to make things happen in the world. But on the other hand, you can literally physically attract things from the ether, from the quantum field, from the universe, that if you wake up and you're just looking at your life and you're like, oh, my life sucks, you're just going to keep literally attracting things from the outside that suck. So you flip it around. Focus on the emotion that you want to experience in the future now. And remember what I said earlier. Your emotions are the result of your life experiences. But your mind doesn't know the difference between an emotion that is a result of a past experience or the result of a future experience. Remember, there's no such thing as time either. Like, time is a man-made physical construct for convenience. And so if you just generate emotions, your mind will start to remember your future. Okay. And then things start to happen. And yeah. Okay. I'm gonna step out of the woo, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, holy shit, this is like a lot. Let me ask some more, let me answer some more questions. Let's see. What caused you to fail at creating a social media marketing agency, as you stated in the last Q&A? Oh, that's funny. I was like, I've never started a social media marketing agency. But then I realized I actually did when I was in college. I was 18. I was a freshman in college, and I just got the entrepreneurial bug to make money online. And the first thing I tried to do was code an app, and that didn't really work. And I was like, okay, well, I need to make more money. So I started trying to do a social media marketing agency, because this was around the time that Tai Lopez was like blowing up like crazy. And I was watching all his videos, and he had a course about social media marketing agency, but I didn't have any money to buy a course, or at least I didn't think I did. I really did have money, but I was spending it on stupid shit. I was spending it on, basically I was spending it on booze and things, and, and stuff that your typical college student would spend it on. So I had money, I was a caddy. I was saving up money. I had, several, probably like, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000 at the time to my name. And the thing was, I was just putting it into things that not only were depreciated, but like depreciated me. And so I didn't invest in a course. It might have been like a $300 course at the time. I just didn't buy it. One time I actually did buy a course. It was a course to learn how to do Shopify and like drop shipping. And then my mom, because I had a joint bank account, my mom saw that I spent $500 on something, and she thought it was a scam and froze my account and made me get a refund. And I was so upset. But your parents are just trying to protect you most of the time, even if they act otherwise. And so anyway, why did I fail at starting a social media marketing agency? A, because I didn't have the proper guidance, and B, because I just didn't spend enough time on it. I gave up. I think that you can pretty much be successful in whatever you want over a long enough period of time if you just do it long enough. So I probably tried it for like 2 months or 3 months, and it just didn't work. It actually, I think the most successful thing I did when I was 18, honestly, aside from starting my YouTube channel, which was toward, almost when I was 19, most successful thing I did when I was 18 was probably a video production business. So I would make videos, like advertisements for businesses in my town. And I would maybe get paid like $300 to $500 for a video project that took me way longer than it should have. And I should have been charging more. And I was doing drone videos and videos for, architects, like drone video architecture. I was doing, videos for a gym in my town. And yeah, that was my first really, I would say, successful side hustle that obviously eventually turned into making videos for myself and my own brand and stuff like this. So, okay. let's see. Can you break down your income? I think I did this in the last one, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I have a software called Maxi. You can check it out, mindsetdesign.com. I have a course, Tribe Accelerator. I have a high ticket course called 28K, which is designed for millionaires, high six-figure earners, and even billionaires, bringing them in. And that one's very expensive. I also have Course Builder, coursebldr.com, which helps people start online courses. Partnered with Adam Horowitz on that, who's been in the course space for 15 years. And then, I have my investments. So, for example, you walk into a watch store, you have a good relationship with an AD, and you buy a watch for $10,000. You walk out, it's worth $15,000. And because you have the relationship and the pieces are hard to come by and they know you're not going to sell, you can make money just through your investments. Through watch investing is one strategy. So let's see. Have I ever read Reality Transurfing? Yes, of course. That's an absolute must. Arlen, how can you get a girl to show you like her, even though she seems interested but not 100% yet? How do you get a girl to show you like her? How do you get a girl to show you like her, even though she seems interested? I don't actually know what that means. How do you show? Is it how do you show a girl you like her, even if she seems interested, or how does a girl show that she likes you? I don't really know what the question is. Maybe you can rephrase that one for me so that I can genuinely provide a good response. Hey, Arlen, I'm currently moving to Montreal. I find where the people I want to hang out with, I go, but I don't really know how to approach. Do you have any tips? So kind of like what I was talking about earlier, Mark, you need to create something in your life that's attractive, whether it's a trip, like you're organizing a trip. Maybe you have if you're in Montreal, maybe if I lived in Montreal, I might get tickets to the Canadiens, the hockey team. And I would get, maybe I would buy and I would obviously, this requires income, but I would maybe get 4 tickets, or maybe I'd buy season tickets and get 4 seats. And it's obviously expensive, right? But imagine it's actually probably not that expensive to have season tickets to the Canadiens. I can't imagine if you had, decent seats, not next to the glass, that it's that crazy expensive if you save up, or, if you're someone who's earning a normal income, you can probably buy season tickets. Imagine you have 4 tickets. And so you can go to pretty much any game. And there's how many games in the NHL season? A lot, right? So that just take the principle, right? You have something, you've invested, you've created value, okay? Now every person you meet in Montreal, you can be like, hey, every Friday, I go to the Canadiens. You want to come? No? Okay, cool. I have people that I can go with anyway. You can do the same thing at a restaurant. Every Friday you go, hey, I have a dinner at this restaurant in the old quarter of Montreal. Or every Friday I go to every Friday I go to, people in Montreal will know this. I go to, what is it called? I forget what it's called. I forget. Never mind. There's I'm not going to go into it. There's a place that young men like to go to in Montreal. I won't say. But anyway, you create something that you would go to honestly by yourself, right? Why wouldn't I go to a Montreal Canadiens game by myself? So every person I meet, whether I get a membership at a gym or I'm just down the street and I see a cute girl walking by or whatever, I see that person that I'm interested in pulling into my life, and I have something to invite them to, rather than just walking up with my dick in my hands like, hey, I'm Arlen, got nothing going on in my life, want to be my friend? No, you have to have stuff going on. You have to have a life that, even if no one else is a part of it, it's interesting and people want to become a part of, right? It's so easy for me to attract people because I have so many things that I can invite people to, and I also have not only just specific events, but obviously the more events that you have, the more people you meet, and then you can use the people you meet as a method of attracting other people, right? So whenever I meet, another millionaire, another successful person, I'm always thinking in my head, who can I introduce them to in order to give them value and to give the other person in my life value? If and this can come in the form of literally romantic matchmaking. I'm always thinking if I meet, a cool chick who's looking for a boyfriend, I'm like, oh, which of my, really cool high value male friends is looking for a girlfriend, and I can just make the introduction. And then boom, you're the person that potentially created at least a several year relationship. Who knows how long it's going to last, but you create love just by making an introduction. Okay. So, hey, Arlen, what's your opinion about Bali in terms of digital nomads just starting out? I think it's fantastic. Once you get the plane and you're there, you go, holy shit, I can get a whole breakfast for $4.50, aka like 500,000 rupiah or whatever. It's amazing. There's amazing people. The Balinese people are amazing. They're so welcoming and grateful. And you also get to really practice abundance. Like, you can tip someone $5 and it literally is like life-changing for them. Like when I was there with Adam a few months ago, Adam's actually there right now. When I was with Adam there in March, I would wake up and we would walk out of the villa that we were in, and there was like a little local family-run market. And we go into the market, and the husband and the wife would be in there like watching a little TV, and they had like just a few things in the market. It wasn't a big market at all. It was just like, some water, some Coca-Cola, some chips and stuff, and very basic things. There was like one shelf. And their names, I was like, what are your names? And their names are Komad and Komad. They had the same name, which is something I think people do I don't know if it's Indonesian or if it's Bali specifically, but like the husband and the wife, they take the same first name and they go by the same name, which is interesting. Like they literally kind of become one person, which is interesting. So Komad and Komad, we would give them tips, and by the end of the week we gave them, I think, maybe like $20 or $30, because we were leaving Bali, or we were leaving to a different villa, and we had a bunch of leftover rupiah or something like that, and we gave it to them, and they were like, oh, this is like, we're giving it to our baby or like their granddaughter or something like that. And if you go to a third world country, you have to be generous. I believe it's your duty to be generous, especially if you're going to be living there and profiting from basically living there, because you're spending so much less money when you could be living in America or somewhere else that's more expensive, like Europe or something. So I think Bali is great, but you have to be generous. You should be generous regardless. The universe will respond. Okay, what are some of the first steps, actions you should take to become a more high-value man? First thing is spend more time in silence. Get more comfortable with silence. If you can get more comfortable with that, ideas come to you, ideas flow to you, and this thing boils inside of you, your mission, your calling, and you have no choice but to create it. But you have to get more comfortable in silence. You can't be waking up, consuming TikTok, going to bed watching Netflix, getting programmed by what's already created. You have to get comfortable in that quantum realm of nothingness and allow ideas to flow out of you. You have to create shit as a man to become high value. You have to do it a lot. Why is Drake high value? Because Drake's been putting out bangers every single year for the last, since 2009? Best I Ever Had came out. Best I Ever Had. Like that. He's been putting out bangers since probably 2007, So that's 15-year track record of every year creating value that millions and millions, probably billions of people like. That's how you become high value. You just create stuff. And the way you create stuff, the way you get the urge to create stuff, is you stop consuming. And the way you stop consuming is you stop consuming, and then you just enjoy silence for a bit. And then over time, that silence turns into, oh my God, I have to create something. How to get into a social circle? Well, that's a good question, because one thing I like to say and tell guys in Tribe Accelerator is that it doesn't really matter that much. The idea of like creating a social circle you're on your own from scratch, because in your city, wherever you live, or in the city that you want to move to, there's already a social circle of people that you could just insert yourself into. You don't have to like grab this person off the street and this person from the gym and this person from the club and like introduce them. No, like the people that you want to go out with, the people you want to work out with, they already have a friend group. If you just moved to a new city, or if you just don't have a lot of friends, the people that you could be hanging out with, that you match, that you align with, they already have plans. You just have to become a part of those plans. So it's pretty simple. once you realize that. Then what you have to do is, like I said earlier, you have to have value to give. You have to either become a person of value, right? Now, this is where it gets highly controversial and borderline misogynistic. Not border. I don't think it's borderline, but people misinterpret this as misogynistic. It's no. It is no. It's not something you can run away from. The fact that women are blessed with being born with value. Now, it's not to say that women can't obviously create more value, but being a beautiful woman has value. And I can give you a perfect example of why that's true. Like, people who, you don't see 21-year-old guys just getting flown around in private jets or invited onto super yachts or invited to tables at a club for free. It doesn't happen. But it's the most common thing in the world. Believe me, I just spent 2 months in Europe, and 21-year-old girls get everything paid for. They get invited on private jets. They get invited on private yachts. They get invited to the table next to the DJ, and they don't have to pay anything because the beauty that they have physically is value. So for a man, when I was 21, I was not, I mean, don't get me wrong. I take care of my body. I got a six pack. I think I'm relatively good looking. I'm not that tall, but I'm not getting flown around in private jets, or I don't wake up to 50 DMs from people saying, hey, do you want to come to this club? Do you want to come on my yacht? It's just not how it works. You can't get mad at that, right? So the point is, I don't even remember what the question was. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Why am I talking about this? Someone remind me in the chat. I'm currently moving to, what are the first to become a high value man? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So obviously that doesn't mean that if a woman is born beautiful and I think all women are beautiful, right? But obviously some women, this is objective. Like, some women just get more opportunities thrown their way because of their genetic build. That's literally it. But men, we don't have that luxury. So men have to create value, and men have to take action, and men have to do things that people deem as valuable. Okay. Women can obviously do it too. Women, there's first one that comes to mind is Layla Hermosi and Alex Hermosi. Like, they're building $100 million business together, and there's obviously, I have tons of female friends that create value, and they're obviously valuable beyond their beauty. But as a guy, you can't lean on your looks really, unless you're like a male model, and that's one thing. But even still, I don't think male models are getting necessarily flown around on jets and stuff like that. Just, it's just not really happening as often. I'm sure there's fringe cases, but the exception doesn't negate the vast variety of cases, or the whatever. I'm going to move on from that topic. Okay. What's up, bro? What's your best tips to building a high value Instagram? So I think this also comes down to, looking at what are the vast majority of people doing on Instagram. They got pictures from back in high school still up there. They got pictures just arm in arm with their buddies, and high value people want to hang out with other high value people. So there's really two paths. There's one path of basically, like I said, the long, hard path, which every man I think should be taking, is building value, becoming a man of value by building value and creating, whether it's a valuable business, whether it's, a big YouTube channel, or, creating really anything of value, creating a lot of wealth. And through that, you get access to scarce resources. What do people value? Things that are scarce, things that are rare. People value things that are rare. So if you have access to a lot of things that are rare, and you show that through social media, then people are going to be like, oh man, this person has a lot of rare things. They must be a rare human. So I want to be friends with them. Now, there's different ways to achieve things that are rare through social media, though. Like, you can also, for example, I always tell people in Tribe Accelerator, you can get what you want through other people. You can get almost anything you want through other people. I was saying the example earlier about like the guy not getting, offered private jets here and there. But if you're a guy and you might not have a lot of money, but you have value in other ways. For example, you could just be really funny. Like, there's so many guys out there that are super funny. They might be completely broke, but they have a friend who's a millionaire, or billionaire, or whatever, and they get flown around on private jets all the time because they're just friends. And there's value that you can provide to people, certainly beyond monetary value, beyond money, right? You could be an incredible artist. You could be an incredible painter. You could be, an incredible. You could just be a people connector. Like, you could know a lot of people. This is one of the reasons that, like, party promoters get access to a lot of cool experiences you might see on Instagram. Like, there's one promoter that I don't know who he is personally, but he had probably one of the most insane. I know he's not that wealthy, but he's popular and he knows a lot of the right people. And because he connects a lot of the right people to the right people, he can get access to things. Like, for example, he was in Ibiza and he had this absolutely insane house. Like, I mean, I stayed in some amazing villas, but this place must have been maybe a $75 million house in Ibiza. Like, it was absolutely enormous. It literally looked like a Nobu. Like, it looked like a resort. And so, you can get things, but you have to create value. And in Tribe Accelerator, I basically show guys how to create value in ways that you might not necessarily understand. Or you might not that you wouldn't understand, but that you wouldn't think of on the first go. It's my secrets that I've learned and tested. But long story short, on Instagram, and let me give you another tip. So a lot of, like the vast majority of people aren't telling a story about who they are on Instagram, and they ruin the story by looking directly at the camera. As an example, right now, I'm talking to you through this screen, and I'm looking at you, and the narrative that's being told is, oh, Arlen is on YouTube Live telling a story to the people that are watching the video. That's the narrative that's being told, okay? But what if I just, instead of looking like this, I shifted my gaze like this, and maybe I had, a mic stand that was hanging down like this, and maybe I just had a friend come over and just start asking me or reading me the questions here. Slightly different narrative, because now I'm talking off like this, I'm having a conversation, and in your mind, it might feel a little bit less personal, but you'd probably view me as a little bit more high value, because who gets interviewed? High value people, right? Now, I like doing it like this because I like to build a connection. And I also honestly don't have I didn't think to have someone interview right now. But sometimes I do get interviewed. And when you get interviewed, you're perceived as more high value because only people who are important get interviewed. So the hack with that is you can basically have people look in on you and create different narratives. When you look at the camera, you break the narrative. People will post pictures of themselves on a yacht, but they're looking directly at the camera and they're like, check me out, I'm on this yacht. Or maybe they'll be in they'll be, I don't know, somewhere cool, like some exclusive club, and they're looking at the camera smiling like this. And what that communicates to the person watching is, I don't go to clubs that often, or I don't get invited on yachts that often. Look at me, I'm on this yacht. That's the psychological thing that's being communicated to the audience, as opposed to, if you look away, people don't necessarily realize that a picture is being taken of you. And even though it's suspension of disbelief, like, that they know that a picture is being taken of them, and they obviously posted it. But by just looking at a picture of someone who's not looking directly at the lens, it creates a story that is more believable, and you can control what that story is. When you watch any movie, do the actors look at the camera? No, because it would ruin the suspension of disbelief. It would ruin the fact that that it's an actor. Okay, but because you're watching The Great Gatsby, The Great Gatsby is not looking directly into the camera. If you're watching any superhero movie, how weird would it be if all of a sudden Spider-Man was like, hey guys, how's my acting? And then goes back into the film. So one thing you can do to create more high value Instagram is to not look at the camera all the time. It creates a bit more of like a narrative and almost like a celebrity-like effect when you aren't necessarily looking at the camera in every single picture. So there's a little tip for you. Can you tell me more about Tribe Accelerator, planning to join in the next month? Yeah, sure. Oh, I didn't even realize I could do this. I forgot. I would love to screen share picture in picture. Can I screen? Oh, I can share. Let me just show you guys Tribe Accelerator really quickly, because I I feel like I haven't done a good enough job at showing people how much fucking work I've put into it. And so I'm just going to show you, let's see, share screen, entire screen. This browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen to see if it continues. Oh, okay, hold on. Slides? Oh, no. Okay, let me try share screen, Chrome tab, window. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe if I do this. I feel like a Twitch streamer right now. I'm not. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to log in here, and I should be able to show you. But Tribe Accelerator it's one of my businesses. It's a course that helps men build a more high-value social circle, get more high-value guys into their life, get more high-level experiences, get the women, date the women that they're interested in dating, create the relationships that they want to create. And I've been working on it realistically for the last 7 years. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like inside. Okay, I logged in, and you guys can see how much work I've put into this. Okay, here we go. So, okay, you should be able to see this. If not, type in the chat. So here's what the course looks like. It's every video is a minimum hour long, and it's like this one's an hour 35. This is an hour and 57, and I just break down in 7 weeks, roughly 3 videos per week, how to build the tribe that you want, how to become a more high value man. Friend. I have all of like you guys can see how in depth
this is a miracle,
these slides
guys.
are.
I mean, but again,
and all of the examples that I put in here. And I create, for example, worksheets and spreadsheets, and every video has a transcript. So, for example, if you want to learn about dating, you can just type in dating in the search bar here, and then it brings up all the videos because it has the transcript here. And then the transcript, well, majority of the videos have a time-stamped transcript. Yeah, like this one here. So you'd be able to just search the video and then know where in the video to find it. So you can basically get access to anything you want. And then there's a community. There's live calls every, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. There's live calls twice per week. So I do them with the guys in the program. We limit it to about 20 guys per call. So you have very direct access to me, and everyone has their camera on, and I get to know you guys, and you go through the course. You can ask questions about the course. And another really cool part is the community. Like guys in the community recently, they did a trip to Bali together. So some guys joined, they're like, I don't have friends to travel with, or I don't have friends who like to build businesses. Well, literally every single person in the community is like that. They have the same mindset. They want to improve themselves. They want to travel. They want to create events. They want to meet and date higher quality women, and they're all doing the same thing. So that's what Tribe Accelerator is. If you're interested in joining that, just direct message me on Instagram. We can talk more about it. I'm looking for 5 people who want to improve their social life. Yeah, direct message me. Let's talk on Instagram, and I'll message you back. We can just chat. So, all right, let's go back to the questions here. Hey, Arlen, I see my boyfriend follows and likes half-naked pictures of Instagram models and local girls. I feel it's disrespectful and don't know how to approach him about it. What do you think? Yeah, this is an interesting question from the female perspective, and it's something that to be honest, I don't know what the morally correct answer is, because different societies and different cultures have different morals, and so you as a woman looking at it, you're like, okay, well, I want to basically control where my man's mind goes. I don't want him thinking about other women. And in some traditions and in some morality, like the Christian faith, or really like I think more the Catholic, but also I believe it's Christian as well. Male promiscuity is not good. From the very first, people in stories in the Bible, like, the men are. You don't want to give in to temptation. And so I'm gonna defend both sides. All right. On one hand, I'm gonna say you should allow your man to like naked pictures, and on the other, I'm gonna just defend both, and you can pick which one you want. So on one hand, um, if you think about it, like men essentially looking at pictures of other women and potentially having visions of other women and uh, wanting to hook up with other women, and then in some cases, perhaps actually doing it. On one hand, that is a man that is taking creative energy, his sexual creative energy, and putting it into something that doesn't really have a point, right? Because as a man, if you want to create value in the world, you know, your sperm is like your most creative energy that you have in you. And by just basically spreading it into all these different fantasies, you're not using it in the most effective way. You could be taking that and transmuting it into something creative, right? But it takes a very special certain type of guy to actually understand that. Whereas if he has, these urges and he realizes, oh, I have a supportive, amazing, beautiful girlfriend, and when I do want to act on that, I can put that and channel that energy into her. But that takes a very, very high level consciousness guy. Most guys are not going to see that and understand that unless they're like fully on the the sexual transmutation path and trying to live a life where like they're absolutely maximizing their creative output. Another thing to think about too as a guy when looking at that, I think, is like if you're going to want that, if you're going to want to have multiple relationships, essentially, what is the effect that has on the female, right? Like, is the casual style relationship like that something that you want to put out into the world, or do you more so are you more so interested in putting your energy in a place that's mutually beneficial? Like, what is the benefit for you when you have multiple partners like that, and what is the benefit for them? And is there any downside? So here, 1 second, I'll be right back. This is a very interesting question. Okay. So on one hand, it takes a very high consciousness guy to go, my attention is the most valuable asset that I have. And if I put that attention basically into porn, which is what this is, looking at half naked women on Instagram or having fantasies about other women, that's energy that I could be putting into my business. That male, like, it is a very primal desire, right? Men, I mean, what do men want to do? They have sperm is cheap, eggs are expensive. Sperm is cheap, eggs are expensive, right? Like sperm is they have unlimited basically. And obviously it drains you, the more you do it, and it drains your energy levels. But knowing that men have unlimited, sexual creative energy inside them, they can and want to naturally spread it to as many seeds as possible. Like they want to spread their seed as many places as possible because biologically and evolutionarily they want to have offspring, right? Now that's like built into us, But I think the higher consciousness thing to realize is like, okay, so primally and evolutionarily, I want to spread that, right? But what is best for the future potential of that seed of mine? What is best for that? Because this is where you have to engage the other part of your brain and go, okay, well, I might naturally want to do that, but let's say, I'm only making $100,000 a year. That's pretty much only enough to support one family. What are you going to do? Have multiple different families and not be able to support any of them, and then raise fatherless kids essentially because you can only support one family and you have all these different kids. So, I think very energetically and long term when I think about this question. If the man that you're with really wants to have multiple partners, can he actually handle it? Now, here's the thing. There's guys out there who have millions and millions of dollars, maybe billions or hundreds of millions or whatever, and their intention is fully to have essentially multiple wives, right, and multiple families. And they actually have the financial resources to do that. And they've also basically made an agreement with the women that they're with that this is what they want. Now, is the man that you're dating on that level? Honestly, ask yourself and have him ask himself that question. Does he have $100 million, and is he capable of and actually interested in having multiple families? Because is that not the purpose of sex? Is to have a family, you know? So I guess that's my way of answering it. You know, I think on the other hand, you know, and I would say that's my devil's advocate to like support you to be like, you know, he shouldn't be doing it, because I don't want to say, if you tell your man it's disrespectful, he's not really gonna listen to that. And I don't even know if it depends where he's at, but if you tell him, like, the more convincing argument to me, to a man, is you're basically wasting your creative force on internet porn images when you could be creating value. You could be making money. You could be making a business. You could be making a brand. And instead, you're just dumping it down the drain, literally, right? And you're programming your mind to have unrealistic expectations of what women's bodies actually look like. I've been on so many trips, and I've met girls that on Instagram, they look like one thing, and in person, they just don't look the same. And so you're programming your brain to have unrealistic expectations and chase things that are just smoke and mirrors. So I don't think it's a good idea to do that. But on the other hand, you have to understand as a woman, like, that's the male primal urge, you know, and I wouldn't take it personally, you know, and you might take it personally, but it's just, I would say 90% of guys, 90% of guys are doing that, and they don't even think it's a big deal, because it's like, it's there, you know, it's harmless. You're not doing anything, but what you are doing is wasting your creative energy. Now, on the flip side, I do have friends who are in essentially, would say, like, we call it as like an open on their side relationship. So I have personal friends that I know that the girl that they're dating is like, you know, you can basically do whatever you want with the other side. And the benefit for them is that makes a man feel very powerful. Like a girl that allows her man to basically do whatever he wants. It sounds counterintuitive, but he'll probably end up actually treating the girl that he's with a lot better, because he feels powerful. Like, men want to feel powerful and high status, and they want to be able to tell their friends, you know, like, I got this girl, she basically lets me do whatever I want. And to be honest, you know, that I think that's 80-90% of men's dream is to have a girl that allows them to do whatever they want. As the guy, though, I think it then comes back around to it where it's like, but is that what you want? Is that really what you want? Or you just want to have the option, you know? So I wouldn't approach it from the angle of respect and you know, this is not respectful. I would probably approach it from the angle of like, don't you realize that you're literally wasting your precious energy when you could be using it towards something productive? Have him read anything by Montauk Chia or Napoleon Hill about sexual transmutation. It is what the most successful guys on the planet understand. They transmute that lust urge inside of them and they put it into something productive. I have another question. How can I brand my social media to attract higher quality girls and higher quality people in general, even if I don't make content? Yeah, I mean, this is similar to the last question. Yeah, you have to become a man of status. You have to become a man of high value things. You have to have access to things that are rare, and you show those things. And you do it in a creative way that tells a story. Help me, cuh. I'm super attractive and I get a lot of stares, but I can't get a girlfriend because I think I'm boring. Yeah, then don't be boring. Sit in silence, sit in a chair for a day, don't do anything, and have a journal next to you and write down all your ideas. And then whatever that idea is that feels like it's the one that you know you should do the most, then go do it. Create value. You have to create shit. You have to create a business. You have to create something that turns into value, that creates value for the world. And then you won't be boring. But that will only come for a man if he literally connects to silence and stillness and what I would call like the God flow, the God energy. Have I read Neville Goddard? Yes. How can I make my social circle feel more elite and exclusive? Well, you could create more elite and exclusive events. You could create more elite and exclusive experiences that you attract people to and that you invite people to. So let's say instead of hosting a movie night at your house or at your apartment or whatever, you made it feel more exclusive and just told people, hey, every Friday I do a movie night, but there's only 8 people invited. I only have 8 spots. You might have like plenty more spots, but if you tell them there's a cap on it, it instantly gets more rare and it instantly gets more elite and exclusive. Okay. If you and there's other ways to do this. You just bake every event that you create in scarcity, in exclusivity, and in social proof, right? And then obviously when you have that event, you want to document it, you want to show it, and it's basically what I do on my Instagram. It's like I do these amazing events, traveling around, high value people, and I show it, and it's basically like a big like, I have this circle. You don't have access to this. Do you want access to this? Okay. Learn how to do it through Tribe Accelerator. So you have to bake everything that you're doing in the 6 psychological influence triggers. It's social proof. So social proof is essentially look at all of these other people that like what I'm doing. Look at all these other people that want me. Look at all these other people that want the experience that I've curated. It's authority bias. So authority bias is actually super interesting. If you watch the news, you might realize a lot of the times the news is actually not telling the truth, but the only reason you believe it is because people are wearing a suit and there's a nice fancy background and there's a fancy expensive desk, right? Authority bias is even the police, like people will just believe someone because they're wearing a uniform. People will just believe someone because they have scrubs on. Have you ever seen those funny YouTube videos where it's like, we just carried a ladder into places? Imagine if you just had a ladder and a friend, like 2 people carrying a ladder, and you had like vests on, you could probably go anywhere you want, right? Like show up to an exclusive club with a vest and a ladder and be like, oh, we have to fix who the fuck knows, right? You just walk in because you're wearing a vest and they just think, oh, well, they have to fix something, of course. You just wear a costume. So, yeah. So social proof, authority bias, exclusivity, which I already mentioned, scarcity. Exclusivity and scarcity are similar. And then likability and reciprocity. So people will buy things from you, or people will feel like you're more elite if they actually like you. If you like somebody, you probably feel like you value their attention more. And then reciprocity. So when you give things out, people want to give back to you, even if it's very small. So at your whatever you're doing, a movie night or a dinner or something that you're hosting, if you just continuously or every week you give a goodie bag, or you give, everybody knows that when they show up, they get something, then they're going to be more apt to want to come back because of you're giving them something. Reciprocity. How to cut out negative people and forget them. So it obviously starts with just realizing negative people, and who they are and why they're being negative and how close they are to your life. And then I think the easiest way to do it is to gradually cut them out by just simply hanging out with more positive people. It's easy to say no to people when you have plans that negative people wouldn't want to be part of. Let's say you're really trying to get in shape and you have a circle of friends that just smoke weed all day and don't care about their health. Well, if you just start hanging out with people at the gym more, and the people that smoke weed all the time and don't care about their health go, yo, do you want to hang out and like smoke like we used to? And you go, no, I'm going to the gym. You should come. They can either rise to their level, to your level, or they can just not come. Okay, let's see. Geez, we have a ton of questions. Can you talk about any crazy boat stories from Europe? So I think I don't know. I'm trying to think if I have any crazy boat stories, but one thing that was cool is we were in Naples in Italy, Napoli, and we took a boat to Capri and we just rode all around the island. And it was absolutely one of the most beautiful experiences. In fact, what I could do is show you guys a bit of footage, which I haven't really released anywhere else, but I'll give you guys a little bit of an insight into what Capri looked like on this boat ride. Actually, so this is in Tribe Accelerator. If you guys want to, I think there are some Tribe Accelerator people here. I'll show you guys what this looked like. Here's some of the footage, by the way, that I have not released. Okay. So that was Capri. That was that boat ride. So cool. So, yeah, I mean, it was just one of the most beautiful excursions on a boat that I've certainly ever been a part of. Like, it's Capri. It's like an island right off the Amalfi Coast in Italy, and it's so cool. It's just like jagged rocks in like hills, and I don't know. Nothing really crazy happened. We're just sitting there in awe. And like Brendan Hayward is flying his drone, and Mario, our friend Mario, like jumps off and jumps into or jumps off a cliff, like climbs up and jumps off. I mean, nothing like, I guess the craziest week in Europe was just Yacht Week. Yacht Week was just absolute madness. Andrew Tate was there recently, which was funny. Him and the Nelk boys were at the same places that we were at. Man, what happened? There was some crazy stuff that happened. Well, one night, it was like 5 nights into Yacht Week, and I was just tired of sleeping on the boat, and I needed to get a hotel. So I basically got a hotel, and I showed up to the hotel because there was a party in like a castle, and the party went to like 2 a.m. And I showed up to the hotel at like 2:30 in the morning, and there was nobody there. And this is in a small island in Croatia called Vis. And I show up to the hotel. There's nobody at the reception, and it took me like 45 minutes to walk there. So I'm here in this little island in Croatia, 45 minutes away. It's 3 in the morning, and there's nobody in this hotel. So basically what I had to do was break into the hotel, go into the reception, and steal the key to my room. It was a small hotel. It's a small island. There were only like 8 rooms. And I broke into the hotel. I like hopped the fence, broke in, stole the key, got into my room, went to bed. And then woke up the next day, and actually our boat had left without us because our skipper, I like kind of forgot to tell my skipper that I wasn't going to be on the boat in the morning. They'd left at 9. I woke up at 10 and called him, and I was like, hey, I'm coming to the boat. And he was like, oh, we left an hour ago. I was like, oh, shit. So that was funny. Okay, how do you find what you want to do in your life? How do you find what you want to do in your life? I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to looking at your environment and how you're raised. For example, if you guys see in the background and where I'm at right now, I'm in my parents' house on Cape Cod at the moment, and there's art everywhere. My parents are painters. My parents are artists. So I knew I was going to do something that involved creating things, and something that had to do with design, and something that had to do with visuals. And so I made a lot of YouTube videos. I looked at my nature and I said, this is what I was born with. This is what I enjoy doing. This is what I have an unfair advantage of at life, because I just see the world differently because that's just how I was raised. And so you need to tap into, I think, the energy that you are so focused on as a kid that it was almost uncontrollable. And that'll make you really good at something. So I've always converted, what I was good at as a kid into the business world, whether that was, with Tribe Accelerator, obviously helping people with their essentially how they present themselves and brand themselves and teaching them basic things about design that's attractive. I learned that design is a communication hack. You can create design and images around you that communicate messages that words can't. And so that's what I'd recommend. Look at how you were raised. One of the coolest things that you could do is if you have baby pictures or baby footage, like baby videos of yourself, and look at how you're behaving as a little kid, it'll tell you a lot about what you should probably be doing in your life. The answers are already, honestly, oftentimes right in front of you. Like you just have to bring your attention into the present moment and realize that it's actually being made a lot easier than you realized. You're just not. You're looking outside instead of within. Can I look at my DMs? Yes. Like I said, if you guys DM me, let's chat. I read and respond to 99% of messages. But I'm obviously doing a live right now, so I'm not going to do it, but I'll do it after. Promise I'll do it after. So let's see. Let's do like a couple more questions. We've been going for an hour. Wow, this has been a long live. Okay. What should we talk about? How to keep a conversation interesting with girls. Yeah, that's a good one. I think there's a couple ways to go about this. One is to examine in your life if you have any good stories and continuously practice telling those stories. Okay. I think another one is getting to know yourself better and knowing what excites you and knowing what you love to talk about, what you're excited to talk about. And if you're genuinely excited to share something because you genuinely like it, it's easier to keep a conversation interesting because you're excited. And then another one is just to go completely the opposite route and is just to be almost completely illogical. And this is a bit of flirtation, right? Like if you think about the people that have the best game, they're basically able to just fuck with people. The people the guys that I know that have the best game, they're just really good at just having a fun time and being essentially ridiculous and not making logical sense. You could all of a sudden, for example, just decide that your life is you're living out of Fight Club. And you're just with a girl and you're talking about, I don't know, something boring. And then you go, hey, you know what? I want you to hit me. Hit me before I lose my nerve. And she's like, what? And you're just like, hit me. Come on. Do it. And then and then she's asked you why. And you just tell her, like, well, the whole reason that we're here is because, you just say, you just start quoting lines from some hilarious movie or some very serious movie. And it doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. But you do things that are completely illogical. And the conversation will become more interesting because it doesn't make sense. But you have to do the balls. You have to have the balls to do it. I think another very interesting thing about attraction that I realized a while ago is that as a man, you have an inherent positive charge in your like your default masculine energy. You're a man. Your energy is moving a certain way. She's a woman. She's a girl. Her energy is moving a different way. You're the male. The masculine is the yin. The women energy is the yang. Okay. So the more that you just simply realize that you're a man and you have this inherent pull to you, you don't have to add anything else onto it. The attraction is assumed. And when you assume the attraction, you end up doing things that are attractive. Okay. Instead of trying to go, oh, like a lot of guys are like, what do I do to be attractive? And they do the wrong things because they don't think that they're inherently attractive. But if you realize that you're inherently attractive because you're a man, then it's easy because you're like, oh, I am attractive. Everything that I do is attractive because I'm a man. It's basic. There's a big mindset shift that once you realize being attractive and having interesting conversations is so much easier. Why do you have to add things to your life to be interesting when you can just be interesting, realizing, oh, I'm a man. That's good enough. Okay. And go out into the world with that attitude. No. You need to overcome the ex relationship because I was adding someone else. Here are my thoughts on Top G. Okay, I didn't talk about Tate last time, so I'll talk about him this time. Yeah, I think he's doing really amazing things. And part of the reason I believe that is because I think so many men don't have a backbone, and he's basically taking the extreme masculine frame in order to bring the world back into balance. So obviously, a lot of the things he says are outrageous. Obviously. And he knows that. But I think that so many men don't have a backbone and aren't men anymore. And they watch Andrew Tate and it makes them a little bit more manly. Just a little bit. But just enough to bring the world back into balance. That's what I think of Top G Tate. I also have some friends that know him personally, and they say he's so much different than he is portrayed on podcasts in person. Like, he's very sweet. He has very good relationships with the people around him. And yeah, I honestly think that the frame and the ideas that he brings, most men are not going to be able to execute them. They are somewhat toxic, and especially in a more Western feminist culture, they're going to hate it. But I think that men need to be stronger, and I think that he gives men permission to feel a little bit more stronger. So there's bad that comes with it as well. I'm sure it's creating certain situations and certain relationships that aren't necessarily the best. But I think it's doing more good than bad. I really think it is. Thinking about quitting college sport. My friend circle is centered around athletes, and quitting would change my whole dynamic. Any advice? Thanks for the content, Brody. Well, if you want to, the thing is, like, don't hide from who you are. Why do you want to quit the sport? What is there that's calling you to something else? Whatever is calling you to something else is probably going to make you more attractive anyway. I had a ton of friends in college that played sports. I played sports myself, but I had a lot of friends, on the soccer team and on the swim team and on the D1 hockey team, and I was on a club ice hockey team. But just because you're like, you can still enjoy the sport and not play it and be friends with everybody. I don't think you have to feel like you have to stay in the sport to be friends. Obviously, there's a different bond when you're actually on a fucking team. You're going to battle with the boys, and it's different that way, right? But ultimately, I don't think you have to quit or you don't have to worry about quitting and losing friends. So many questions. So is this live? Can I ask a question? Yes, it is. How is Iman when there is no cameras around? That was a good question. So he's a lot different than I thought, because I first found out about Iman through some of his biohacking lifestyle monk mode videos, and I sort of imagined that he'd be a guy that wakes up at 8 a.m. sharp or 7 a.m. sharp, meditates from 7 a.m. to 7:20 a.m., does a cold shower, does red light therapy, and I'm sure he is actually probably like that during his monk mode. But when I met him, he was not. And when we were in London in March or April, he just we just he was a lot more like me. I wake up, kind of do whatever I feel like doing. Maybe I got a meeting here and there, and then there's no it was basically we just did whatever we felt like doing. And he had a couple meetings throughout the day, but very, very chill, very, very good guy, extremely generous. Iman is one of the most generous people I think I've ever met. I make good money, but he was hosting me, and I wasn't allowed to pay for anything. He flew me out. There's probably $12,000 worth of flights, first class. Everything was paid for. We went to a club one night. He spent $25,000 for 5 of us, probably more. So Iman is a really, really good man. One of the best. That's why I believe in GCC and everything that he touches. The New World Order. What is happening? Who is controlling us? Am I the New World Order? Are you the new? Do you even realize? I actually think a lot of the big G's, the top G Tate's views on the New World Order are pretty accurate. I think that if you allow it to control you, this phone in your hand, this thing that you're watching on YouTube can become the new world order. But I think what you have to do is become the new world order of your own reality. And you can, for example, use technology to train yourself to create the life that you want. I also think that you can escape the matrix psychologically. I think obviously having money and freedom and 10 passports allows you to move across the grid and go wherever you want, whenever you want. But I also think that there's another side of a reality that is primal to that, where if you don't have tens of millions of dollars right now, it all starts in the mind. If you can free yourself of your own mind and your own thinking mind and achieve a state of presence and achieve a state of stillness, you're going to be a lot more, you're going to be free. It's the people that are stuck in their mind that are also stuck in the matrix. So if you can escape the mind, if you can dominate and control your own thoughts, that you can control your own reality and you can create your own order and a new world. Read the book A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. That's my view of the New World Order. You can escape now. Like imagine as you're watching this right now, you just ask yourself, what if I could just stop thinking for a few moments? What if I woke up, connected to my body for a second, connected to everything else happening around me, connected to the people on this stream, and my brain waves slowed down into a different pattern? To me, you can escape the matrix in the present moment. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on with, Nelk and Big G and all this, right? But like, escape all of the smoke and mirrors, even the people that are talking about this idea, and just escape it in your own mind and get control over your own mind and create literally a new experience of life in the present moment. Okay. Arlen, can you talk more about what 28K is? So for people earning, really for men earning more than really $500,000 per year, into the $1 million per year range and more and beyond, Adam Horowitz and I created 28K. The reason we call it 28K is because the average person has 28,000 days to live. And yes, you can have a successful business, but are you maximizing your life experiences? Are you living the most epic life you possibly could? Are you going to the best events around the world? Are you meeting the coolest people? Are you having unforgettable memories that, last forever? That especially in your younger years, you're in 20s and 30s. Maybe once you have a family, you aren't going to experience those kind of memories as much. So 28K is a community of young millionaires who want to optimize the life experience. If you're interested in that, just direct message me 28K. But again, you have to be earning more than $500,000 a year really to qualify for it, because it requires a large investment and entry fee to be a part of the community. But it also requires a lot more to be able to spend throughout the year. So it's basically for people who have so much money that they don't, that they want the experiences and they value the experiences in the community over the money in their bank account. And Adam and I help curate those experiences, and we show you how to do it. Adam himself is, he's been a millionaire since he was like 17, and he started spending a lot of money traveling to the best places around the world. So he's created these insane connections and knows how to, he has like a level of knowledge that not a lot of people really have. Let's see. Do you still record on a full camera or just an iPhone? So what's funny about this broadcast, if you guys like this right now, comment down below if you like this. Do you like the quality of this? Do you like the mic? Do you like the camera? How is it? Let me know how it is. Type in the chat. It's pretty good, right? It's not that bad. This is actually just off my laptop. I was connecting my phone earlier. I have like an app that I can connect my phone. I was like, wait, I can just do it off my laptop. It looks nice. So I've been doing these lives literally just off my laptop, and I connect my microphone to this box thing, and yeah. Let's see. Will 8 a.m. make a return? Yeah, I do want to have 8 a.m. make a return. I'm considering doing it within the next 6 to 12 months. So not like, I would say like in 6 months, I could do that. Okay. I'm going to end the broadcast now. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I might do this just every once in a while. I actually really like this format. I like the questions on the side. I like being able to post to YouTube, and I also like being able to turn this content into a ton of different pieces of content. So the last thing I will say to cap off this one is, if you want to improve your social life, you want to talk to me about your social life and your social circle, if you want to get more high-level people around you, even if you're building a business, I can show you how to do it in less time. And obviously, if you want to be able to focus while you're building your business, you need the right community. You need people who are also building the same thing and going toward the same vision. So just direct message me if you're interested to talk. My Instagram is @Arlen, and just say, let's talk or let's chat or watch the YouTube live. I want to talk to you about building my social circle, and we can have a chat. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next time I do this, or on Instagram or whatever. See you guys in the DMs, and love, peace, namaste.